Grand Rising Jackson, Grand Rising. How's everybody doing? In today's video, I want to talk about uh, how our law enforcement officials, they need to get it together. In Saratoga, Mississippi, many of you may know, if you watch the mainstream media, there was a 1-year-old boy that was shot and killed by a police officer's bullet because the little boy's mother was accused of shoplifting out of a Walmart store. And this is the story that I got. And they said that the police officer, that the girl tried to run over the police officer. Now, even as a thief, check this out, even as a thief, and you just stole some stuff, you're going to be trying to get away. You ain't trying to hurt nobody. You're not trying to hurt nobody. You're trying to get away. But for what? According to my understanding, she didn't steal anything. There was nothing stolen. And it was all, you know what I'm saying? But, I mean, it's all conflicting stories. It's all alleged. It's allegedly, all alleged. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. But my point is this. When I was working years ago as a security guard, all security officers, police officers, all law enforcement officials had this thing where, especially with Walmart and companies like that, if somebody is shoplifting and they out that store, you do not try to stop them. Now, it's very possible that Walmart could be liable. The liabilities could be on Walmart. Because if somebody had to call them to create this tragedy. That's what created this tragedy. Somebody called them and reported that this person was in there shoplifting. Now, whether that was a police officer, in which they said it was a police officer, or a security guard, they should have let that car go on about its business. But you see, it's like some police officers, they want to play Superman. They want to stand in front of the car while the car is coming, thinking that they're going to stop. And many people have this view. She should have stopped anyway because she was told to stop by the police officer. If you didn't think you was doing anything wrong, why would you stop? And even if you were doing something wrong, why would you stop? I mean, let's just talk about it for what it is, not for what it should be or what it could be. Let's just talk about for what it is. That woman lost her child due to the stupidity of a police officer and poor management of himself. A shoplifter, I can understand armed robbery. I'm quite sure you got the call. It was a shoplifting issue. Why would you pull out your weapon? Oh, she was intentionally trying to run you down. Hey, I don't look. Let me tell you something. I don't care what was stolen. A life was lost. Those goods can be brought back. Those goods can be brought back. It was another person in the car had to be airlifted to the hospital because they were shot. If they survive, their wounds gonna heal. But the life, man, the little boy is going forever. It's over with. It's over with. And but let me say this: if that officer has a heart, that officer ain't gonna want to be an officer no more. That officer gonna want to do something different. Because, like I said, it took a life, an innocent life at that. Now, I understand these folks could have walked around, could have had ski masks on, could have looked it like they was a threat, could have looked it like they was a threat. Nah, there wasn't no threat. But this kid definitely wasn't no threat. Lost his life. And I really hope Walmart have some accountability in this. You know, because that right there, in my opinion, yeah, all this right here is an accountability issue. That the training of those police officers is at stake, and Walmart's policies is at stake. Man, listen. I lost a kid. I know what that feels like. I didn't lose a kid like that, but I did lose a child, and my child was 1.5 years old. I know what it's like. I know what she's going through. It ain't no joke when losing your child. So, I mean, I know there's many views out here, but in opinions, right? But you got some opinions out here is like underarms. They stink. They stink. But they're gonna give them anyway. They're gonna give them anyway. I'm not that clear on what happened. But I know if I got some guns pointed at me and I got some guns pointed, I ain't finna run over nobody. She could have just not been paying attention. And they could have said halt, and they didn't say they didn't have the weapons drawn. She just kept rolling. I bet you that's what happened. They said, "Hey, stop. And she just kept rolling, and they pulled out their weapons. There's no way, if you driving a car down the road and somebody standing in front of your vehicle or on the side of your or within our view got a weapon pointed at you, either you're going to stop if it's a police officer, or you're going to keep moving because you don't want to get shot. Now, if it was a police officer in full uniform, ain't no way that police officer is going to draw their weapons off willy-nilly. No. They did it after they just kept on going. after they told them stop, and they just kept on going, and they trying to make it look like that she was trying to run over the cop. Man, please. I know what's happening. You could depict that out like an accident, like a car accident. You could tell. You could tell if the person, when a person hit, you could tell whose fault it is. It'd be like, man, you see them skid marks down the street? That person was trying to stop. Come on. You'd be like, really? Be like, you see them skid marks? Man, that person was trying to stop. And they automatically know whose fault it was. And that's the same thing with this. There's no way that police officer just didn't willy-nilly draw their weapon. And even if they did, they was in the wrong. I don't believe that happened. It didn't happen like that. Ain't nobody in clear eye view driving down the street at maybe 5 miles per hour in a parking lot, and a police officer with a badge and he got a weapon pointed at you. You ain't gonna stop. Hey, ho! But that's not the procedure. That ain't the procedure. They tried to stop her. They tried to stop her. Ho, y'all need to stop. Hey, wait. And she kept on going. And they pulled out their weapons and just commenced the shooting. They had to shoot her from the side. It wasn't from the front. Because she got shot. The kid got shot in his side. Did they shoot in the window sill? I mean the window shield out? Did they shoot the window shield, or did they shoot in the side of the car? Now, if he was standing in front of the car and the kid got shot and the girl got shot, then that means that he was standing in front of the car. That means he was standing there. He wasn't standing there with his weapon drawn. He was trying to stop the car, and she just kept going. Then he discharged his weapon. He pulled his weapon and discharged and fired. Man, it's easy to see. I'm blind as Ray Charles and I can see that. Yeah, make up there 810. Yeah, I saw your video, man. I didn't respond because I wasn't on. I didn't get a chance. I didn't respond because it was I was looking at y'all recording up there in Flint. Yeah, if you get this message, you know what I'm saying. I saw your video and everything. I was going, I didn't come on until later on, and I just saw y'all. I just saw y'all recording. You're recording on your video. Yeah, good shot. I'm glad you shouted that out for Mississippi up there in Flint, because folks need to know. This mess is still going on, and I want to know what the outcome is going to be of this. What is the outcome going to be of this? See, it's a lot going on. Especially right here in Mississippi, Alabama, and all these places. It's a lot going on. And I'm not understanding that. These folks make up the rules as they go along. But you can literally see what's happening. Ain't nobody got to draw a picture for you. Everything that I have spoken about this week, you do not need somebody to draw a diagram or a map or literally put the puzzle together for you. Don't have to. You can do this yourself. You can see what's going on. And they make up the rules as they go along. And nobody is held accountable. Nobody's held accountable. Nobody is want to say, yo, that's wrong. Is that policy? Is that policy? Man, I'm gonna tell you something. I got a mediation thing coming up for a discrimination charge. I got some type of mediation thing coming up with the equal opportunity of employment. And for me, I don't have no confidence. I don't have no confidence in in the systems down here, because I believe that they all work together. They all are working together. That's why I do a lot of different. That's why I study a lot. I'm studying a lot on this, but you know what I'm saying. But the way things is here in the state of Mississippi, you can't have confidence. You can't have confidence that fairness, that you're going to get anything fair out of this, out of anything. Because it don't never be fair. It's either you have some type of influence, prestige, or some type of Federal Reserve notes. A large amount of that. And that's the way it works in places like this. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? You know, they say, you know what I mean? Yeah, they say they say they're supposed to look out for the little man. But down here in Mississippi, the little man's looked over like grass. When you walk out your door and you're looking out and you look outside, you're looking right, you're gonna look to the right, you're gonna look to the left. And you're gonna look over you're gonna look over your grass. You're not gonna look over your grass until it's on till you notice that it needs to be cut. You're not gonna look at your grass until you see something there that's not supposed to be there. You're not gonna look at your grass until you're finna do something, like you finna do something like you finna put on, be in the barbecue or something like that. I'm telling you, this is how they look over people here in Mississippi. Especially the little man. So why should you have confidence? I mean, let's be 100 about that. A lot of people don't have no confidence in the system. But then again, you got a lot of people out here that don't know what their rights are. A lot of people don't know what their rights are. They don't know what their rights are until they don't learn what their rights are until it's all said and done, until their rights get violated. See, I want to know this before. See, I know this. I speak because that's what happened to me. I speak about it on the Blind Intelligence Show. About knowing what your rights are. Knowing what the policies and stuff is. I really hope that woman that lost her child, and I'm very, very sorry that it happened. But I hope your family member finds this video. And I want to say this. If I were you, I would go into Walmart's policies I want to know what Walmart's policies are. I want to know what that police procedure is. You just killed my child. You just killed my niece. You just killed my nephew. I want to know what your policies are. I want to know what your procedures are when it comes to shoplifting. I want to know myself. I don't want to put it on no ding dong attorney. Yeah, you could call Morgan and Morgan, or you can call somebody like that, Jacoby and Myers or whoever. But I want to know myself. I want to read that information myself so I can formulate my own opinion. And that's what now I can't say for the parent, but for the loved one that's close to that parent that lost that child. You need to be trying to find that out. What is the policies and what is the policies of Walmart and the procedures of the police? How about that? How you like those apples? Because once you find out what it is, you know what they know. So if you do hire an attorney, you know what the attorney know. Because a lot of times I'm gonna tell you something, I don't trust attorneys. I don't trust a lot of them. A lot of them I don't trust. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust a lot of them. I'm not saying they're all bad, but a lot of them I don't trust. A lot of them, some of them are very, very helpful. And they do want you to, because I do look at John Morgan. I've viewed his story. I viewed his story, the reason why he became an injury attorney, because of his brother, was injured at Walt Disney, and I understand, and trust me when I tell you, his momentum, that's what gave him the momentum to do what he did, to propel him into the success that he has been propelled into. And I respect that wholeheartedly. Shout out to Morgan and John Morgan. You know what I'm saying? You want stand-up guy. You want stand-up guy. Real talk. And in your family. And I really respect y'all. And I'm not putting all attorneys down when I'm making this statement. Because you do got some attorneys out there that's working their asses off trying to make sure that people are done right, treated right. But in the black community, I'm telling you, especially here in Mississippi, hey, look, listen. It's messed up. It's messed up. And I'm just, and I mean, I can go after story because I'm like, yo, I remember one time my family had a situation, right? I was in it, I had a dog in a fight where one of my family members had cut some timber off the property, right? And then some of my other family members, and it was their property. Some of my other family members, and they went to sue this dude, and they wanted to bring everybody in. He cut some off for ours. He cut some off for ours. He cut some off for my aunt and my uncles, my aunts and uncles or whatever. So they got together and they want everybody to put their bread together to pay an attorney. Right? It's crazy. So everybody everybody went, put their bread together, paid this attorney. The attorney ain't do jack squat. And this happened, I think this happened like in 2013. I'm trying to think. Was I trying to remember thinking, was it 13 or 12? Yeah, I think it was like 12 or 11, because I think it was before I moved in my house. It was somewhere in there. Ain't heard nothing. I'm telling you, ain't heard nothing else back from that attorney. But look, but here is what I call, like my man Morpheus said in The Matrix. Everything has a sense of irony. My aunt, uncle, and cousin that was in this mess, they all has passed on. My cousin was the one that did it. My aunt and uncle was trying to initiate this lawsuit. Now they all has passed on. But my point is this. That attorney still got that bread. So where's the trust in that? Never received no paperwork. Nobody said nothing or anything. Yeah, I'm putting that's on blast. That just show you the mistrust that some attorneys, that people have in some attorneys. And you're looking at one of them. I have mistrust with some attorneys. It shouldn't be that way, but it is. It is. Because they ain't doing you, because if you ain't been done, look. I remember Louis Farrakhan said something, and I've always took it in stride. I say it every time, or all the time, to make a point. If you've been bit by a snake so many times, the slightest worm gonna look funny to you. See my point? I ain't putting all attorneys down, because you got some upstanding attorneys. You got some upstanding attorneys. But, man, some of them son guns low down. Low down. Snake belly low down, son. Snake belly low down. I'm telling you. It's crazy. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just calling that out for what it is. Not for what it appeared to be. Not for what I like it to be. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, you do got some good attorneys out here. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I just, but like I said, I just think about that poor lady and her losing her child. Look, let me tell you something. I don't care about the cop. I don't care about Walmart. I care about that lady losing her kid. Over some alleged shoplifting. And for what I understand, it was about some Pampers. Give me a break. Life was lost. How you gonna get that back? See, nobody cares. It seems like some people, you got some people out here don't care about that. They're not really like looking at that at all. Only thing they care about is they should have followed the police officer's instructions. I don't believe in that crap. The police officer, what was the policies of the police officer? Not the policy, the procedure. What was Walmart's policy for shoplifters? Because I know when I was working, I know when I was a security guard in Clinton, when the Clinton Walmart first opened up, I was one of the first security guards over there. And they told us if a shoplifter is out the door, let him go. What is the policies of Walmart and the procedures of the police officers? Was that really worth it? Yeah, come on, man. I was gonna weigh on this today. I was gonna weigh on this today, cause I got my perspective. I got my perspective on this. Because the thing is that you got some people with perspectives, got the police perspective. I don't have the police perspective because I don't know what the procedure is. Make that make sense. Comment on something. Comment when you know. When you get the facts on. Now, like a case like this, what is the procedures of the police? In a case like this, what is the policies of Walmart? As far as shoplifters is concerned. What is? What is? That's the question. That's going to be the question for the day. Because apparently, a lot of us tend to comment first, then learn the truth later. No, I want to know what the truth is. Let's find out what the truth is first. Then we comment. But in the meantime, a woman has lost her child. I don't give a ding dong what the policy, what the procedure is. In this case, a woman has lost her child. What could have been done differently to prevent this? What could have been done differently? Okay. See, that's gonna be that's an open-ended question because that's gonna stand for people that people, gonna have different opinions about about this, and they're entitled to it. But my thing is that shooting in an occupied vehicle ain't the answer. Ain't the answer. I'm not that doggone forceful. I'm gonna try to bogart my way to stop a vehicle. Partner, you ain't Superman. You ain't Superwoman. But hey, and in the process of all of that, the child loses his life. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. And they can say whatever they want to say on these other talk shows and these other circles, these Facebook circles and things of that nature. I look at all of it, and I be monitoring a lot of it. They can say whatever they want to say, but the core thing is that this child's life was lost. Period. Point blank. Yo, I'll see y'all tomorrow. We're gonna talk. Look, we're gonna have something for y'all tomorrow. I want to talk. We're gonna talk a little bit more about this J Train stuff tomorrow. I'm gonna get a little bit more information, and hopefully I can get that consent decree. But until tomorrow, stay safe and stay encouraged, everyone. This is the 601 Network. I'm Raphael Bird.